Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. We are going to talk about, basically we are going to do a demo how to convert a web form into a chatbot. I've got a few slides, just 4 of them. I'll go through them pretty quick, and then we go on to the demo. So first one, just to get the refund on my travel. So it's I work for Srijan Australia, and I'm based in Sydney. So to set the expectations straight, what we are going to do here, we are not going to talk about Dialogflow with Dutta, Lewis, Lex. Those are heavyweights, and a pretty powerful one, I would say. Uh, they are more guided towards NLP, machine learning. They've got robust APIs, evolving, and like they are backed by powerful companies and evolving day by day and stuff. You can have a lot of intents there. You can set up contexts. You can have statements, and there are a lot many other things that you can do with them. So we had a session yesterday with Dialogflow and Chatbot API. So that was more about it. What we are going to see today, we are not going to see some heavyweights like these tanks. We are going to demo something like this. So it's not a heavyweight thing. It's not very sophisticated in a way, but they are effective. And if used well, they can win you wars. Okay. So we have got the expectations. Now let's set the context. Is the form visible at the back? Or should I? Okay, perfect. So this is the form that we'll be working on. It's a simple subscribe form. And in fact, it has got much less fields than a normal subscribe. I put my name here. There's a small line here that says only enter your first name. I say Arijit. In location, I say I'm in Auckland. Interest, I say travel. Oh, sorry. Yeah, oh, the spellings are wrong. Okay, so it is a conditional field. It gives me another field that says select travel interest. I get 3 options. If I type in something else like movies, it changes to movie interest. I select drama and submit the form, and the thing is done. The kind of forms that we have in our Drupal sites right now. Now what we are going to do in this demo using this particular module, we are going to turn our web form into something like this. Is it still visible at the back? Sort of. Oops. I'm sorry, I can't change the color right now. I'll have to do the CSS. But anyways, there are a few seats in the front. Those are empty if there's a problem in seeing from the back. So this is how it's going to be. I'm sorry. So the chatbot says, hi, may I know your name? Before we proceed, I say Arijit. A bit of personalization. May I know where you are based, Arijit? I say Sydney. Enter. To ensure we only subscribe for your selective content, may I know one of your interests? I say travel, or let me type something. I like to travel. That's more kind of a conversation. So you are a traveler. What do you like most? Backpacking, luxury, road trips? I click on road trips. I've noted your response, Arijit. Thanks. You will receive great road trips content in your mail soon. Send me a mail. Have a good day. Bye. I type something like bye, and yeah, my form is submitted. Now, this is what we are going to do, and we are going to do that step by step on this form right away. So to turn this form into a conversational form, I've already enabled conversational form modules. I go to form settings. I get a field here that says conversational forms. I click, I save, I go back to the form, and it provides you a conversational interface. Right now, let's try to fill this form. Name Arijit, location Sydney. Interest, I say travel, and because I've got conditions, I get 3 options. But is it really conversational? Probably not, because it's just taking the labels. we need to make it a little more interactive, make it put in some questions that actually happen in the chat. So I go to form components in name. Uh, this module provides a few fields. One of that is CF questions, and I put in something like that. Hello there. May I know your name, please? And I save the form component. I go back and I see the question. So let us add some questions for all the fields here. For location, I'll add something. Where are you based? For interest, can you tell me your interests? I need to add something for each field. Just bear with me, please. So in CF questions, I say what kind of travel, or I say I'm a traveler too. What kind of travel do you like? Okay, I'll save that one. Similarly, I'll write one more. We can leave the technology one that way for now. Oh, so you are a movie buff. Which kind of movies? Okay, I save it. Now let's see how our form looks like right now. Hello there, may I know your name, please? I say Arijit, and it asks me. It has asked me just location. I'm sorry, I did something wrong. I need to check. Oh, I put it in the wrong field. Okay, I go back to my form. I say Arijit, and where are you based? Sydney. Um, can you tell me your interest? I like to travel, and it gives me a few more options. Now it's a bit more interactive, but there are more things that we need to do to actually make it to give a bit more of Eliza effect, give some sorts of customizations. So one of the things that we can do is we can provide some tokens in the question. So we click on this link here and we get all the tokens, those are available to us. So I added submitted name, and let me type a question something like this. Good to know you name. Where are you based? I save the component. I go to view. Now if I write my name here, it will give me good to know you, Arijit. Where are you based? Okay. Now let's train our bot a little more. We are using just simple tokens here and some questions. So what if I write my name something like this? Rather than giving my first name, I say my name is Arijit Dutta. What will the form do now? It is doing a token replacement. So good to know you. My name is Arijit Dutta. Where are you based? That again doesn't seem like a real bot. So one thing that I can do is I go back to location and I'm sorry, not the location. I go back to name field and I provide a placeholder in the description in the form. I had only enter your first name. I copied this one and I'll put it here in CF placeholder. I save the form. I go and see it. Now here it will give me a placeholder, only enter your first name. but I don't read it. Good to know, Arijit Dutta. I asked only for the first name. So there are a few more customizations that we'll have to do. Let's go in the name, and we can add some patterns, some regex to define um, what should be the input like. So I'll put something like it should be just one word, and if someone puts some more words, it would say, please only enter your first name. So I go back, I save it, I go to view, and I try to put my name. Arijit Dutta is my name, and it will say please only enter your first name. I try only Arijit Dutta, and it would say oh no, please, sorry. So this is just one example, probably not the best one, but those are this is just to uh, show that we can actually put in some regex to define, put some validation. So in later conversations now I'm only going to use my first name. Yeah. Sorry. So now let's start from the beginning once and complete the form. I say my name is Arijit. Where are you based? I say I'm based in Sydney. Can you tell me your interest? I say travel. Uh, and the form submits. There's no buy, nothing, and that doesn't seem like a conversation. So what we can do is we just go and add another field here. I say other. It's a text field. Add and put in something there. I have noted your um, uh, response. I'll put in some tokens to make it a little more lively. Sorry. I'll put in the name here. I've noted your response, Arijit, and you will get. I'll use the previous answer, which is my selection for what kind of content I need. You will get content in your mail soon. Bye. Okay. I'll put in. Okay. Let's do that later. So I save the component. We go back to the form, and we start again. Now it should sound a little more like a conversation. Good to know you, Arijit. Where are you based? I'm based in, say, Auckland. And can you tell me your interests? I say movies. Also, you are a movie buff. Which kind of movies? I say drama. And I'll get another response. I've noted your response, Arijit. You'll get drama content in your mail soon. Buy. I click on buy, and it submits the form. Now let's play around a little more with this one. So what if I am putting in something like this? Sydney, can you tell me your interests? I say, rather than saying travel or something, I say I like to go places. Now it doesn't have travel, so our filter will fail. It will not give me options to select which kind of travel I prefer. I've noted your response, buy, and that's done. So we are going to use Webform conditionals here, and we already have a few conditions put in here. I will add one more. It says interest contains going places, save condition, view. Now if I say, may I know your name please? Again, sorry, it's Arijit. Say Sydney. Can you tell me your interest? I like going places. Oh, sorry, that's G. And I get the options. Now the last thing that probably we need to do is every time if it is the same question that's being displayed to the user, it doesn't feel again like a conversation or a good bot. So we can actually add a few more question options using double pipe. So sorry, not in the description in the questions. Um, so I put a double pipe. I say, hi, may I know your name? Oh, that's already there. Um, let's be a little rude. What is your name? Okay. There's another thing that I can do. I can use double ampersand to actually make it into 2 lines. Hi, and what is your name? I save it to view. And hi, what is your name? I refresh the page. Randomly, it will take something else. Oh, sorry, it took the same one. Hello there, may I know your name, please? So it will keep on taking some random questions, and we can actually keep on like building the bot. Now, everything that we are submitting are going into the results like any other web form, and this is how probably we can look for the free text that people are adding, use that information, that data to actually train our bot even more. So, yeah. Yeah, probably that was it, the demo that I wanted to show. Any questions there?
How does it go with spelling errors?
Right now, you just have to use the conditionals properly. You want to add some conditionals with it contains certain words, and that would be it.
Fair enough.
Any other?
Does it work with conditional fields?
Yes, it does. So, you're talking about the module or the one that's included here in the web form?
The chat, so for example, he asks one thing, then you go to another question.
Yes, so that's what we have done here, and that's why it's giving different options for movies and travel. So the conditionals are here. So if it contains travel or going places, then show this field. If it is movies, then shows this field, and we can use is not, contains, whatever we want to. So all those fields are being used. The only caveat right now, or the thing that's pending, is it only uses or, even if you use and that's why the module is in development, not a stable release yet. So once this is done, we crack this thing, put the condition as and also or. So maybe we'll have a final release to this module. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
That way to make it extend using regular expressions again. So if the person says my name is whatever, you can grab the standard my name is and then just pick up the name, or
Right now, no. That is.
because I saw that it's saved on the format from Auckland, whereas maybe someone extracting the results from Webforms would expect Auckland. So it would like filter the rest of the IN from and just keep the
Well, that would be a very good addition to this module, definitely. But right now, it's not there. So maybe in the pipeline, you can create a issue, a feature request, and we'll try to look into it. Thanks. Anything else? Yep.
Does it work with mobile?
Yeah, it does work with mobile, and basically it's a web form. Right now for the demo, I'm using it for the complete page. You can use it in a block, in a sidebar, or wherever you want to. Anything that you can do with a web form, you can do with this module. It's just a wrapper that if so the basic concept of this and the way this works is it just puts a wrapper of JS where you have got all these fields, whatever you are filling in here, that are actually those fields are being filled in the backend in a proper form. So once this thing completes, it automatically submits the form. So whatever you want to do with your web form, any hooks that you want to use, and if you want to export it as a JSON or something, anything is possible here. It's just a library. Any more questions?
I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, can you group like three fields into one question? Like your example, ordering a pizza, you want to know ingredients, where to deliver to, and things like that. You'd set that up as three different fields in your web form,
Yep.
and could this act like group them together, like what kind of pizza, and then you answer those three things in one line, or does it ask you one by one which pizza you want, and then where do you want to deliver it to?
Well, I think you can do it if you can make those conditions in the web form here. So definitely it can be used. So if you can actually make it like contains 1, 2, and 3 words, you can put a field there. So it's as I said, it's this module is just a wrapper over web form. So if you can create any condition here, that will work with it. Yep.
Do you have any plans of extending this to be accessible from like a Facebook Messenger option?
Very honestly, right now, no. One thing is, it's just a kind of my side project, and I've not seen very much traction over it. If there are more people who are interested, who show some interest, if they are using this module or at least testing it, then probably we can come out with more features. Right now, it's just going with on a very slow pace on very basic features that you can actually make a contact us page into a chatbot. But I would be really happy if you can actually pitch in and help us create some more features and make it even more usable.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking like it could be not a selling point, but you could get people Drupal sites to want to use it.
Yep.
We're to open it up because like with the Facebook Messenger webhooks, like those are already used quite a lot right now, and people know that I can hook up my Drupal content to that as well.
Yep. Probably that could be the way. So there are some more features those are coming up. So it's a JS library that this module uses. So this is basically um, uh, like it's basically like puts up a wrapper on the form elements in HTML. So that's what it's doing right now. There is a roadmap in this library where they are trying to add a few more modules and even try to integrate it with like the heavyweights, Dialogflow and Vid.ai. So once that happens, I think it would be easier to port that into Drupal, or we can start actually putting in some contribution into this library, and once the feature is here, we just put it to Drupal again. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Well, thanks everyone.